He is playing around with ideas of racism, and in my view, you can't say you're not racist.
News. London Transport say they may have to close the underground system due to an infestation of horses.
Loads of horses, at least 30 I'd say. As the train approaches, they start running away from the train.
And what the drivers say they fear most of all is a head-on collision with a blind tube man.
What's up, YouTube? Hello, it's me. I'm back with Jeff Innocent. Part 2. I'm going to continue with this, review the whole thing. It hasn't had that many views, but I guess he's not that well known. But I'm banking on the fact that he's going to become more popular because he's very good. And yeah, let's just dive straight in to part 2 because I want to discuss this afterwards. I think it's going to be very interesting. Let's dive right in.
Can I just establish the fact that I'm not actually racist? I think what it is I look hugely racist, but I'm hugely not racist. So in a sense, all of this is a bit of a waste, really.
A waste.
And when you think there are actual racist people possibly walking past this venue as we speak, who would love to look like me. Dream of looking like me, have plastic surgery and everything. And I'm probably showing off here, but I bet I'm the most racist looking comedian on the entire comedy circuit. In this price range. But of course the poetic irony of me looking so fucking horribly aggressively racist is my wife is black. We do that sort of thing in East London. And, you know, you might have noticed I'm wearing hearing aids, actually. That's because my wife is Nigerian.
I just have to say it's a common fallacy, I think, that working class people are racist and middle class people are not. And which I think I always used to think. But to be honest, if you think about it, how many mixed race couples are there in middle class couples, and how many mixed race couples are there in working class couples? Well, it's far more in the working class, and I think that's interesting. I don't know. I was maybe saying more about that at the end.
Come on, white people, let yourselves go with this. If you see black people laughing at any of this stuff, it means it's okay for you to laugh, right? No pressure. Yeah, I remember when it happened. I went to the audiologist. He went, "Is your wife Nigerian?" I went, "Yeah." He went, "We're getting a lot of this with multiculturalism." Yeah, I love my wife very much, but she's quite a domineering figure in my life, actually. Well,
that is my wife is black, as I mentioned previously, and she's very domineering. I mean, it's not because she's black, but I think it's because, funnily enough, I used to have a white wife and she was quite domineering. So there you go. There's that racial stereotype exploded.
She's a fucking bully. And I think what it is she's very domineering, and I think I'm attracted to that kind of woman. You know, not domineering, but if anyone said to me, "Jeff, what kind of women do you go for?" I'd say formidable. Full fucking middle. That's what I like. Independent, assertive, go to the fucking gym kind of women. Lesbians. I know. I have a constant craving for old school lesbians. How mad is that? I love that whole lesbian aesthetic. Flat shoes, trousers, shirt, early Elvis hairstyle. What a tragic irony though, isn't it? For an old ladies' man like me to end up fancying the very women who've got absolutely no interest in me whatsoever. I say ladies' man, the judge preferred to use the term pimp, but I don't want to get involved in linguistics at this time of night.
I like him because he's edgy. He's edgy in a slightly different way to Jimmy Carr, because he's referring to himself rather than just pissing on gypsies.
But I think I like that kind of woman for several reasons. One is, I'm a bit of a handful. You know, I think I need a strong woman like that to keep me in check. The other reason is I'm not very good at DIY. And more importantly, I know if it all kicks off in a pub or club, I've got a bit of backup. I mentioned the North earlier on. Do we have people from the North in the audience? But just the one bloke. Fair enough. Quite expensive for them to get in here. Where are you from in the North, fella? Manchester. Sorry, mate, can't understand a word you're saying. They come down here, don't they? Hey, they won't learn the language. How are they going to integrate? You're very welcome, fella. We've got a lot of northern people living down in Newham now, and they've got their own shops now. Big discount gravy warehouses, they've got. Some of the supermarkets, you might have noticed, they've installed slow lanes for northerners so they can take their fucking time talking about their family to the shop assistant. I've actually got a northern family living next door to me. I'm sorry, it's the smell of their cooking. I'm sure connected to the north in a very roundabout way, actually. I'll get there in the end, but when I went to get a dog, I was very mindful of what sort of dog I got. I thought, don't get a dodgy dog, you look dodgy enough already. Get a dog that's not dodgy, get a dog that offsets your dodginess, a dog that's soft and approachable and yet surprisingly sporty, a little bit like me. So I've got a whippet, right? I've got a whippet. So now I'm burdened with a stereotype about whippets in the fucking north. I would say on a weekly basis, someone must come up to me and go, Jeb, you got one of those whippets. They're from the fucking north, aren't they? They're from the north. I go, mate, they're not from the north. You know, like indigenously. They don't live wild on the Yorkshire moors, in trees. You know, if you were travelling from London to Newcastle on a train, they don't run alongside like fucking dolphins, do they? Taking it in turns to be in the lead and looking back up at you. That's a bit of image, though, isn't it? Can you imagine you're getting on a train, you're going up north? Hard to imagine, really, isn't it? It'd have to be a funeral, really, wouldn't it? Then it'd have to be your mum, but what would she be doing up there? So, but just go with it, just for the purposes of my illustration. You're on a train, you're going up north for whatever reason, you look out the window, there's fucking whippets, thousands of them. I could make that happen. All I have to do, go and live wild on the Yorkshire moors. So cheap to live in the north. I don't know if you know that. You don't need money. They haven't even got money. Just live wild by digging up steak and kidney puddings from the ground, picking fresh tripe from the trees, all with gravy on top. Wouldn't want to break any local fucking rules. I'd be like a mad Cockney whippet master, and every time a train goes past, run, my children, run! But I didn't rescue a dog, and that's very popular. It's very admirable. You always know rescue a dog owners, and if you've got a dog and you're a part of a dog community at your local park, you always know the rescue dog people, don't you? Because they keep fucking going on about it. He's a rescue, he's a rescue, he's a rescue. We rescued him, he was so terribly abused. And one day, do you know, I feel like saying, look, mate, you didn't really rescue the dog, did you? Not in my book. You didn't break into a scrap metal yard in the dead of night and unleash your rabid Doberman into the world. Run free, Fritz, run free! You didn't go and live on a gypsy camp and learn their ways. And smuggle out any endangered dogs in a Schindler's List kind of way, did you? You didn't walk into a pet shop with a gun and go, put all the puppies in a fucking bag now! You slags! We don't say you slags in East London, but Northerners love that Cockney shit. They just went down to Battersea and said, can I have that one, please? Not a fucking rescue, is it? The reason I mention Northerners is partly because of Brexit, because they invented Brexit, of course. Well, let's be specific. Sunderland. Sunderland, right, the first town to vote Brexit, to control their borders. Who in here has ever wanted to go to fucking Sunderland? But sadly, of course, we all know what control our borders means. It means we do not want immigrants in our town.
It's an interesting fact that it seems like the less black people there are in a community, the more racist they are. I live in North London, and I'm surrounded by, black, brown, Asian, whatever, different looking people, different cultures, different languages. And you soon realise that multiculturalism is fine. There's no issue. There's absolutely no issue. But somehow when there's no one around that's black, like in Essex, well, used to be in Essex when I was growing up, everybody's black people. It's just familiarity. Once you get used to seeing people around, you realise they're not so scary.
And here's the irony about Sunderland, or any other Brexit town I've ever been to. You walk the streets for 5 minutes and all you're left thinking is, fuck me, if ever a town needed immigrants. Just to jazz up the fucking gene pool a little bit. You go to some of these places, everyone looks the same because they've been fucking each other for hundreds of years.
I've got, there's a joke, I went to, I think it's the Isle of Man. I went to the Isle of Man and I met this bloke, and he said, come outside, meet my sister and my wife. I went outside, there's just one woman standing there.
We should be sending coachloads of immigrants up to Sunderland. In fact, these poor fuckers that arrive in dinghies, don't send them to Rwanda, send them to Sunderland. Leave them there for 20 years and they'll end up with a decent football team and a bit of culture. That's my plan for the world. God bless you. God bless you. Another thing that pissed me off about Brexit, and I know there's some young people in here going, Jeff, what are you going on about Brexit for? It was years ago, but we are now living with the legacy of Brexit. And one of the things that saddened me about Brexit is we've lost a lot of Eastern European people. And they've gone home thinking we don't like them. And I suppose you would do, wouldn't you? When the country votes Brexit. But I don't think that's the case. However, I don't think British people totally embraced Eastern European people or their culture while they were here. And I think it's to do with food. It's my theory, but hear me out. I think British people embrace any foreign culture historically as long as on a Saturday night you can get pissed and eat their fucking food. So you have a few drinks, you'll have a turkey kebab. That is so beautiful, mate. I'll tell you what, come on in, bring your family. And of course that's where Indian people got it right first time round. But I think that's where Eastern European people have got it wrong a little bit, because I don't know about you, but I've never got pissed on a Saturday night and thought, you know what I really fancy now? Some pickled cabbage. Get on the phone to Deliverooski. Give me some of that cold beetroot soup. It's the national dish of Lithuania. You stick as much vinegar on that raw fish as you want, Alexei. I can fucking take it. So all I'm suggesting is, if they sort their menu out, they can come back. A little bit of friendly racism for the NHS there, ladies and gentlemen.
So, thank you, Mr. Innocent. Wonderful stuff. It's actually, I was thinking, he's quite, he's quite clever. He's clever, isn't he? He's clever.
He's clever, man. What's he got in here?
How clever is that?
He is playing around with ideas of racism, and in my view, you can't say you're not racist, and really the word racist doesn't really mean anything. I mean, you can think, everybody to some extent thinks racist things, because as animals we evolved to fear people that look different to us. So in my view, it's almost impossible not to look at someone who looks very different to you and feel a certain way. But of course, seeing as our brains are quite big as human beings, it's probably a good idea not to assume that everybody who looks a certain way is exactly the same. And that just seems so blindingly obvious to me. And I guess most people, all black people are not the same, especially if you count, Indians and Pakistanis as black, and someone who's black from South America. I mean, their cultures are completely different. Even if their culture was the same, the individual people would be different. So I don't really get it. Obviously, you can be racist in terms of you can stop someone getting a job because of the way they look, and you can throw a petrol bomb through someone's window because of where they're from. That is a racist act. But I like it. The waters are very muddy, and I think the media doesn't do nuance very well, does it? And this word racist, prejudice, I think is a better word, but it puts you in a very interesting position when or in my case, I'm in love with someone of a completely different race, because you get the chance to talk about what it's like to be black, and I get the chance to talk about what it's like to be white. Not that she's bloody interested, understandably, I guess. And we, my stepson is black, and my own two sons are white, so we have a sort of a mixed up family. I mean, things are getting more and more mixed up, thank God. As long as the right wing white supremacists don't get their way, things will continue to get mixed up, and the races will change, and we'll all be a bit brown one day. But I suspect no matter how much we start looking the same, there's already shadeism. So if you're black, if you're black and you're very dark skinned, you actually tend to suffer discrimination from people who are black but lighter skinned. That sort of thing. If you don't understand or know what shadeism is, that's it, and it definitely exists. I've seen it a lot, and there you go. Got a bit deep and meaningful there, but I think these things are good. They're good to talk about, and Jeff Innocent is brilliant and brings all that stuff to the table, as well as making us laugh. The things that man does. So that's it. It's a long one, but I've got a lot to say. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, leave a comment below, share, Sonny and share, and don't nobody go nowhere.